Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to start with, a couple of things I want to pre-frame this with. Number one is I don't want you guys to think about what we're gonna do like as like a meditation, like don't think of it like a shamanic journey. Don't think of it like a hypnotic induction. I want you guys to just think of it as a game. Okay. Meditation is far too serious and you try too hard and everybody thinks they can't and you're just missing the point. um, I want you guys to just approach this like listening to a story, right? Just what they call suspension of disbelief. Like if you're reading Harry Potter, you're not trying to dissect how realistic it is, right? You're just going along with it, having the experience. And I want you guys to approach this like that. I call these thought experiments. Okay. It's much less serious. And it really is just about gaining access to your imagination and learning all the ways that we can utilize it. So it's just a game. Okay. Um, I want you to be willing to activate your imagination, and I want you to be willing to trust that your imagination is meaningful and valuable. Not Don't assume that, oh, it's just imaginary, so it doesn't mean anything. We'll talk about the placebo effect and everything tonight. Like what you believe, what you really focus on is very, very important to what your body physiologically experiences. Okay, and we're going to demonstrate that tonight. Um, as I said, my only request from you guys is feedback. Just give us honest feedback. And it's like good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like don't hold back if something didn't work for you or something, like whatever, please share that as well. It's not just like rah, rah. I'm trying to really build a solid programmatic approach to self-love here. Okay. So thank you very much. And then at the end, I will have an offer to work with me one-on-one or in an awesome group session we have coming up. I won't take much of your time to do that, but I am learning how important that is to actually making, business work, right? So we give all this stuff for free so people can have the experience, and then you will have options to go deeper if you want to. No obligations. And that email is all you're going to need. There's no buttons and landing pages or whatever. You're just going to email me if you want to jump in. Okay. All that being said, does anybody have any questions before we get started? No, everybody good? Awesome. Okay. So Act 1, what is love? And you can raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself. I want to know from you guys, does anybody have a definition for what love is? Anybody have an answer? It's not an easy word to define. So if nobody does, then that's cool. But usually people have some definitions, some ideas. Anybody? Nobody? Okay, perfect. So I don't have like a turnkey definition of love. Every time I talk about it, I kind of talk about it from a authentic place. But here is what I wrote today when feeling into what I wanted to talk about. Love is openness. Love is trust, acceptance, appreciation, and presence, etc. There's a lot of other elements that we could add into this idea of love, but most importantly, love is experienced through physical sensation. Okay. Love is a feeling. Love is a feeling. It is a sensory experience, and it is an intense sensory experience. And what's important is that you understand you can only experience it right now. You can only feel love right now. I've got to pin myself. Hold on. You can only feel love right now. And so like love is not radiation, right? It's not floating through the air. You can't get like a sunburn from it. It's not molecules. Okay. Love is an emotion. And what's important to understand is that all emotions we create for ourselves. No one else can like give you an emotion. You create every emotion you've ever had for yourself. A perfect example is fear. I was talking about this on the live today. You're afraid of spiders, right? And you blame the spider on your fear, but the spider doesn't have any fear. And there's no fear anywhere in the room. But like you are creating fear. Okay. You are creating, and you create every single emotion. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, especially if they're tortured by their emotions. But the power of understanding that is that you then get the ability to affect your emotions. If you understand that you are creating them, that you are not a slave to them, right? They don't like happen upon you. You create them. And we'll get into how you create them tonight. So really important to understand that love is not something that you can receive from anywhere. It's not radiation, right? We create it inside ourselves. We allow ourselves to feel love. And when you take the responsibility of creating that love and you stop believing that you can get it from a heating lamp, you get the ability to create that feeling for yourself all the time. You get the ability to experience love all the time rather than waiting for your mother to give it to you or your lover or whatever. And so most people, like, they use the external world as like an excuse to create the emotion. And what I'm telling you is you don't need an excuse. Okay. The only excuse you need is that I would like to feel good. Okay. And so if I would like to feel good, then I can make myself feel good. I don't have to have my dad tell me I'm a good boy in order to feel good. Okay. I can create that feeling for myself. Once you can effectively create that feeling of love for yourself, you don't need it from anybody else. You don't need to sit around waiting for someone to give it to you because you're too busy giving it to yourself. Okay, so that's what love is. Love is an emotion, it is a sensation, it can only be experienced now, and we create it for ourselves. Okay. So what is self-love? Does anybody have any answers to what is self-love? Any definitions? And you can put it in the chat as well. Okay. So here's my definition of self-love. Self-love is the act of valuing, respecting, and caring for oneself. It involves having a positive and realistic view of oneself, setting boundaries, and making choices that are in alignment with one's own well-being. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Self-love is the act of valuing, respecting, and caring for oneself. It involves having a positive but realistic view of oneself, setting boundaries, and making choices that are in alignment with one's own well-being. All right. So self-love is not just self-care. Okay. A lot of people think of self-love as self-care. I went to get my nails done. I went to the spa. I got my hair did, you know. Um, Self-care is an important tool in the experience of self-love, but I don't want anyone to mistake going to the spa for actually loving yourself, because there's lots of people spending money to pamper themselves, but they don't love themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And so don't mistake self-care for self-love. Okay. And you guys have all heard this. It's like a trope. It's like, you have to love yourself before anyone else can love you. That always annoyed me when I was young, because I was like, that's bullshit. I can love somebody whether they love themselves or not. But then I dated a girl who hated herself inside because that's what she learned from her parents. And I discovered that what that saying actually means, it doesn't mean that nobody else can love you unless you love yourself. What it means is you will not allow yourself to feel it. If you don't actually love yourself, someone else can love you all day long and you will not feel it. You will keep reaching, you will keep trying to prove it, you will keep trying to earn it. Okay. Very important to understand this difference. And it's key to this shift, to the whole idea of like the self-love manifesto is a shift away from believing we can receive love like a suntan and understanding that we have to create it like nectar from within. It's a paradigm shift in how we approach the idea of love. Okay, so what blocks us from self-love? Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another chance to chime in here, and I hope somebody has some feedback. But I'm gonna do mine first, and so you'll have a chance to think, and you can pull ideas from mine. So, what blocks us from self-love? Okay, so I wrote down a few things that felt really obvious to me, and then I want to know if you guys, if I missed any, if you guys have any that are not on this list. Number one, judgment. Judgment separates us from ourselves and everything around us. Judgment is a barrier, it's a blockade for self-love. Negativity is constantly pushing away, it's negating. Can't find self-love through negativity. The inner critic, perfectionism, coulda, woulda, shoulda. You're never good enough. Nothing is ever right enough. You will never activate self-love through the inner critic. 4, fear. Fear is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Fear is afraid of itself. Fear endlessly justifies itself. 5, narcissism, right? Narcissism is a hard egoic shell. It's a protection mechanism. And what it does is it strengthens the barrier between yourself and whatever is around you. And that will not create an experience of self-love. Self-esteem, right? Unworthiness. I am not worthy. I do not feel worthy of attention, of love, of abundance, of whatever. That is a belief system. That is a belief system. And if you believe that subconsciously, you are going to see evidence of that everywhere around you. And then finally, trauma, right? And I tried to describe trauma for this exact reason. And the description that came out was very interesting. I called it rehearsed pain/fear loops. Trauma is rehearsed pain/fear loops. And they keep us from self-love because they keep us trapped in addictive patterns. Okay. Almost every person I've ever known that's been addicted to anything had severe trauma. The addiction is a response to the trauma. Okay, does anybody have any obstacles that you've noticed to self-love? Bueller. Oh, we got one. Julia, unmute yourself for me.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm awesome. Tell us about something that you know blocks you from self-love.
Yeah, I loved everything you said. It definitely got me thinking, and I got pen to paper, so I'm writing a couple of things out. I think for me, what blocks my love is guilt, feeling some guilt from past traumas. Fear of letting go of those feelings and emotions attached to that trauma, moving on. That's a challenge. Feeling.
Hold on.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Say that again for me, because that's a huge problem for people. Say that again for me. Fear of letting go, fear of moving on.
Fear of letting go, fear of moving on, and forgiveness. It's challenging.
Can you describe the fear? Because we're talking about possibly letting go of negativity, but you're afraid of letting go of negativity. Can you explain that a little better?
I want to let go of it. I feel like it just ties into the guilt. It's kind of like the loop you described.
Right.
It's repetitive pattern that keeps cycling, and it's hard to just let it go.
Yes.
um
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for mentioning that specifically. And I added guilt to my list. So thank you. That's the importance of the feedback. And what you're talking about is part of that is identity. We become identified with our wounds. They become our character. And if the wound goes away, we don't know who we are. And the antithesis of the human mind is the unknowable. The mind will choose a known, negative over an unknown positive any day of the week. And so the mind becomes identified with this dysfunction, and we're at least comfortable because we know how depression works. We know how anger works. We know how liquor works. We know how, whatever, like, so what she's speaking to there is this identification with the wound, with the trauma. Thank you for that. Christy, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Christy. I just had a couple of things like shame, regret, and ego,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely self-sabotage. And I know I used to hoard a lot of hate.
What or who did you hate?
I hated myself. I hated my
Mm,
mother. I hated my world. Just any and everything.
mhm. Thank you for that. And do you feel like you still deal with a lot of hate?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, most definitely. I mean, not
Okay,
as much, not as strongly. So, I'm glad for that. But yeah, there's still there, still lingers.
beautiful. So I want you to pay attention to what level that hate kind of feels to you right now. And then after you go through these processes that we're going to do tonight, I just want you to check in with how your relationship to hate feels tomorrow. Because what I've seen is if we focus on the feeling of goodness, the feelings of badness that we were fighting very often just go away on their own. If you can teach someone to feel really happy for 20 or 30 minutes, hours and hours of psychotherapy can be avoided because they don't care about why they were sad before, because now they feel happy. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. It does.
So I want you to focus on happy tonight, okay? And then we can talk more about hate tomorrow if we need to.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, so I added guilt and shame, and let's do regret because that's similar to boom. Awesome. Thank you. And so last, before we get into our first exercise, I want to talk about what's in it for me, right? Because as a marketer, this is the main question, right? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of self-love, assuming that we can activate it? Once again, I'm going to give you guys some of the ones that came up for me, and then I would love to hear some of the benefits you guys either have experienced or you believe you will experience when you activate self-love. Okay. The first one that became really obvious for me when I activate self-love is passion. Passion. I experience passion in my life. And the easiest way I can explain passion is excitement. Is a joy to get out of the bed in the morning, is a joy to work on whatever project, whatever creative project I have on. It's a joy to fulfill whatever financial service that I'm providing, whatever professional service that I'm providing. There is an excitement to life when I have activated self-love, when I can feel love for myself. And when I can feel love for myself, I feel love for everyone around me. I can't help it. It's an emotion that comes up and out. It's like for me, it's almost like a lotus flower blossoming in my heart is kind of what it feels like. So passion is the first benefit I get from it. The second benefit I get from it is purpose. And I feel like most people sort of misunderstand the idea of purpose. People run around acting like purpose is just like a treasure in a treasure chest somewhere, and they're supposed to find it like on a quest or something. But that's not what purpose is, you guys. Like, you are purpose. you are the effect of purpose. Like right now, like I want you to feel that you are the result of purpose. I am purpose itself. I don't have to go and find it. Okay. And when someone is connected to self-love, if you watch a baby, if you watch a natural animal in the jungle, they don't struggle with purpose. They know their purpose is to hunt because they're hungry, or to sleep because they're tired, or to get busy because it's time to get busy. They don't struggle with purpose, right? So I get passion, I get purpose. I also get empowerment. I get empowerment because I realize that the emotions that I experience are mine to create or not create. I can starve myself of them, or I can fill myself with them. And that's an empowering. And empowerment is about inner strength. It's about a relationship to yourself, not like controlling the world around you. That's not empowerment. We're talking about empowerment as inner strength. Okay. And then the last thing is appreciation, gratitude. I get appreciation and gratitude from self-love. Okay. Anybody else? Does anyone have anything to add? Anything you can share that you get a benefit from self-love?
Hi, this is VJ. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, VJ.
Hi, sorry about the earlier technical difficulties in wrangling a toddler, but so I just started today reading The Return to Love, and I had written down love is the opposite of fear.
Mhm.
And so what comes to mind for me is, if I can love myself, then I can let go of fear. And I feel like fear is just a huge block to everything else that is amazing and creating my own reality and what I want my life to be and what I want my destiny to be. So I feel like if I can do that, then that opens everything else up. And the funny thing is, I've been putting it last forever. I have so many goals, whether it's personally or career-wise, and I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to get all these things done. And I had my friends tell me, give yourself grace, be easy on yourself. And I'm always so hard on myself. Nothing is ever good enough. And I literally said, oh, no, I need to do these things. I need to reach these goals first. I'll work on self-love next year. I'll love myself next year. This year I have stuff to do. And it just hit me. I mean, literally today, oh, wait, maybe I need to love myself first. Maybe that's the first step to accomplishing all these other things.
Beautiful. Amen. Thank you. Snaps all around. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Linda, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Thank you for giving this. I'm kind of new to TikTok, and I've found you in the last couple of weeks, and so much of what you've said has resonated with me watching your lives. And so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And I mean, I feel like I'm going through a little bit of what some of these other people are going through. Somebody mentioned divorce. That's me. I'm 55, just signed papers in July after 25 years. And I'm a mom as well. My kids, I have 2 adult kids. So I feel like, I focused everything on my family. And now I find myself sort of having to rebuild my life, because basically my kids have moved out and I don't have a husband anymore. And I'm realizing I feel like the person I was before the marriage didn't have a problem with self-love. But because so much time has gone by and I was so focused on everybody else, that I feel like I've sort of lost a sense of myself.
Mhm.
So some of the themes that have been coming through for me lately is like this, I feel like I'm in a period of returning to self, like wanting to know who I am again. And maybe what does it mean to love myself? And a couple of other words that I wrote down were like I lost myself somewhere around, throughout the years, like
Mhm.
I have amnesia. Like I also wrote down like attentiveness. It's like I just haven't been attentive to like my spirit, my soul, what brings me joy. And so that's sort of my journey right now. I think that's why I was attracted to this seminar tonight, was just to kind of get back in touch with, oh yeah, let's put this on the forefront. Let's really resonate with what it is to completely love myself again. And give myself permission and approval to say, you know what, I am first. I'm first now. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Amen. Thank you very much for sharing that. And a lot of mothers experience that because mothers' full-time job is caring for everyone else's needs, and you don't have time to put your needs first. And when you go long enough without putting your needs first, you forget how. So thank you for sharing that. And Lord knows mothers need to learn self-love because they give it to everybody else. It's like nurses, there's always giving and giving to everyone else. So thank you for that. Did you have one, Jason?
Yeah. I just want to say this really quick. I'm struggling with. I'm really wrapped in my head about receiving love. As far as an intimate relationship, it's been a long time for me, and my brain tells me that you're an ugly piece of crap, and it's a little worse than that. My self-talk is pretty bad. That I'm not good looking. Like, what's wrong with me? I've been told that I'm a little wild, crazy, and I don't know. It just, part of me feels disconnected from the human race, and that I will never have a intimate relationship, and it's really hard to. I'm really wanting to practice what you're practicing, the self-love, to just receive it. And I notice myself feeling rage when I see couples because I feel like I can never have that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking to someone who's a professional at beating himself up to the core. And there's just times where I just want to feel affection. And I feel like I will never receive it because I've tried to put myself out there, but it's hard being on the path. For me, I'm on the spiritual path right now, and there's just times where it's like, what's wrong with me? It's like, shit. Anyways, I don't know if that made sense. I just feel like I had to say that.
Thank you for sharing. It makes perfect sense. And you're gonna have the opportunity tonight to give yourself intimate attention. And I invite you to do the best you can. Don't assume that you're going to be perfect at it. Just give yourself permission to create the feeling of love inside yourself, and then we'll talk about the effect that it had. Okay. Just and know that you have to be able to feel that within yourself before you're really going to be able to share it with anybody else. Thank you for that. Brenda?
I just wanted to say, like, I feel like I'm invading into your privacy. I feel like, sometimes when I get into that meditative state and I like open up a connection between people, and Jason, I really felt you, like, sincerely. It's like it's weighing my body down, and all I want for you is to have like some release. And energetically, if I take anything away from anybody, it's I think loving ourselves also has to be like keeping that boundary, because I think like a lot of us are empaths in here, like where we can pick up on energy of other people. So I'm gonna give that back to you right now, Jason, because it has made me so heavy inside. And I don't think you'll tell the difference.
He's used to it. He's used to it. Of course
You're
not.
used to it.
Yeah.
But
But
I think
I can handle it. I can
you
hold
can
it.
do it. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But
Thank you though. Thank
I
you.
don't know
And
where-
that is a valid concern for deep empaths. So thank you.
yeah, I'm sorry for continuing to talk, but I'm yelling.
No, I appreciate it. Okay. So you guys ready to do an exercise? Anybody did you have a question? Kristen? No? Nobody else has a question? We good? Your hand's still up, Brenda. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, Mila, did you have a question? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to add, I understand where everyone else is coming from, but I think I come from a different place when it comes to self-love and or accepting love. Anytime anytime someone tries to get close to me, I feel terror.
Mm.
And I get close to a point and then I run for the hills. And it leaves it, even if it's friendships or someone who it takes an interest in me. I don't know why that is. I get a fear in my body and I just have to run. So
Okay, how do you feel like that relates to self-love though? Because that's love with someone else. How do you feel like that relates to self-love?
I feel disconnected with myself as well because
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a disconnect.
But because you started to say because, do you know why?
I don't.
It's okay.
I don't know. I get to a certain level where I start to feel like I'm loving myself, getting to know myself, trying to take care of my inner child, trying to heal old wounds, trying to take care of my spirit. And then there's a fear that sets in and I stop and I run for the hills with myself. I can't go further.
Do you know what you're afraid of?
Even right now, talking about it, I'm starting to shake and I don't know why.
You don't know what you're afraid of.
Mm-mm.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Tell me what you're afraid of.
I can't see anything.
I figured. So what are you afraid of?
I don't know.
So can you let go of the fear?
My palms are sweating right now.
Okay.
And
take a really deep inhale and take a really deep exhale and relax your body. Are you still afraid?
A little.
Okay, that's a good shift. That's a good shift. And if you have been dealing with love that way for your entire life, this is going to be scary for you. This is going to be scary for you. But I want to read you. I only read you guys 2 of the testimonies. Okay, I'm going to read you the 3rd testimony I got from the first time we did this. This one's for you. I was uncomfortable and almost abandoned the Zoom. But then you had me imagine my future self, and I felt this overwhelming joy when I saw myself being the person I needed my whole life. My light was shining so bright, I was blinded momentarily. Within that 20 minutes, I felt all the feelings. Your class provided me the realization that I truly am falling in love with me. I will be exactly who I needed. Wowzers. Phenomenal experience. So you might want to run and quit, especially if that's your pattern, but I encourage you to stay and trust that you can handle these feelings, and you might be a different person on the other side of it. Can you do that with us?
Yes, because I almost didn't come because of that. I wanted to.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of you for coming, and please stay and know that it's going to be weird and it's going to be uncomfortable, but I promise you, you won't regret it. I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the vulnerability and honesty. Last one, and then we're going to start some exercises. Adrina, is that how you say it? You got to unmute yourself.
Yes, hi, I'm sorry, I was muted. So Mila, just a quick feedback for you. I feel like I've dealt with that dating men in general. Sometimes they tend to be afraid of love. And like the last one I knew was probably because he had a lot of trauma around experiences like that. So it's my feedback on that. But going back to self-love, I think one thing I'd like to learn today is that I feel like I have self-love, or what I think is self-love, for the most part when I'm single and doing my own thing. But when I get into relationships or start to really like someone romantically, I tend to always shift that love onto them and prioritize them and their needs over mine, to the point where it's like, even if it turns unhealthy and they're getting most of me than myself, I still put them before me. And I wonder if that's like what causes that, and how it is that my self-love often shifts to that person unless I'm alone.
Do you consider yourself a pleaser?
I think so. When
Now,
romantically, yes, not in every aspect of my life. Romantically, yes.
right, got you. Important distinction. It sounds like you're a pleaser, and pleasers almost always do what you're saying. They feed others before themselves, and it's this attempt to earn your value. It's attempt to hold on to something dear, to give it attention and love, and I've known many people that could care about their own path in life and study the things they loved and spend time with their friends until they got a boyfriend, and then their interest went away and their friends went away and their whole story went away. And then you do that long enough and then you end up not remembering who you are, which is what somebody was talking about earlier, right? So it sounds like part of that pattern. And I want you guys to notice how, even though we're all here tonight to learn and activate, more importantly than learn is to activate self-love, notice how many people keep talking about romance, right? Which has nothing to do with self-love, okay? And the energetic need for that romance is one of the ways that we search for this radiation that we can't receive from anywhere else, and we're searching for that radiation somewhere else, right? So I don't have any problem dealing with certain, heartfelt relationship scenarios inside of self-love, but I don't want you to confuse self-love with my boyfriend or my romance or the partner that I'm missing, and I'm really just trying to find Mr. Right. Y'all all talk about self-love all you want, but I'm really just trying to find Mr. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want us to focus on in here. And if you get right with yourself and you allow yourself to feel what you're capable of inside, you won't have trouble finding anybody else to share that with you, because you become like a beacon, and it's like moss to the flame. Okay. So, but thank you so much. And it's a very common problem. Don't feel like weird or stupid. It's a very common problem. One more, and then we got to start our exercises. Tisha, can you unmute yourself? Hello, hello.
Hi, so I'm just getting home from work, so I'm calling to see the garage. My question, I'm sorry, as I was listening on my drive home, I'm so glad you just mentioned that because my husband's amazing. My husband's doing everything. That man loves me more than I love myself. I am so blessed to have a man that loves me more than I love myself. I'm wanting to understand, like when you said the self-love part, regardless of the romantic part of that, because I know I have that. That's besides the point, and I get what you're saying because I think a lot of people forget the fact that regardless of the romantic love, you can have someone that loves you so much. But my thing is, what about the direction of me finding that me loving myself as an individual? You know, not the romantic part of it, because regardless of the romantic part of it, I want to take that aspect out of it, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. And I just kind of want to learn how to just love me. So
Yes.
my thing is that,
Thank
you know, like what you just said, like, you know, what you just were just saying is that I know what that's like. Sometimes I ask myself, how does he love me so much? After all my mess ups and ups and downs and the thing, I am so blessed to have a wonderful person. And I'm like, okay, I know I have that. I can get that, and I can even help other women.
Let me answer your question really quick. How can he love you so much? That's a very common idea for anybody struggling with worthiness. How can he love you so much? And the way he loves you so much is that he sees you more honestly than you do. He sees who you are more honestly than you do. So it's easy for, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So it's easy for him to love you because he sees who you really are. You don't. You see yourself through the judgment of your parents, through the judgment of your bullies, the kids, the government, you know, whatever. And so you have trouble allowing yourself to feel that love for yourself through those layers. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here, is to activate self-love, not to talk about it. So are we ready?
I'm ready.
I want you to get somewhere where you can sit down and go inside.
I am. I'm going to take my coat off. Give me like 3 minutes. I'm still here, guys.
All right. So everybody go ahead and get yourself prepared. We're going to do a few exercises and then I'll have some questions. We'll have a little time to chat and then a couple of more before we get out of here. I want you to find a comfortable position and sit up straight, straighten out your back. Imagine your spine is like strings of pearls hanging on a string. Go ahead and close your eyes for me. And we're going to begin by just doing an exercise on worthiness, okay? We're going to tap into natural worthiness. So I want you to remember being a baby. And if you can't actually remember it, just imagine. You can imagine what it was like to be a baby before anything had happened to you. And remember how worthy you felt. Remember that once upon a time, you did love yourself. Remember how you were not shy about your opinion. And you didn't apologize for what you wanted. And you would scream your ass off if you didn't get it. And you didn't care what anybody thought about any of it. Remember that we are all born loving ourselves. Remember this confidence. Remember this allowance. Remember this trust. Now, I want you to search for when this was lost. Who took it from you? Was it through judgment or punishment or abuse? Was it subtle? Or was it really harsh? Now I want you to see, having had that self-love taken away from you, most of us then spend our whole lives running around trying to find someone to give it back to us. How have you been searching for it? Weight loss, fitness, friends, lovers, social media, drugs, alcohol. Now I want you to just imagine, what if I truly create every emotion I've ever experienced for myself? What if I could create that self-love again for my own self? What if I could do that right now? What if I could just decide to love myself again right now? Because I know I've done it before. Now just remember the feeling of loving yourself like a baby. Remember how much attention was given to you. Remember how protected you were. Remember how you were bathed and clothed and fed. See clearly how even the most abandoned babies are served on hand and foot, because they have to be if we are to survive. Someone served you at every beck and call through loving attention. Then somewhere, at some point, this loving attention was turned off and you missed it. And you began searching for it in other places. But right now, you can see and feel clearly that you can create this feeling of love for yourself right now. You can give yourself the attention you've been seeking for others, from others. And you can clearly feel that your loving attention feels just as good as anyone else's. Feel your own loving attention. Accept yourself like a newborn baby. Just accept yourself. And so it is. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for playing. Just a thought game. Nothing important happening here, right? It's just a thought game. Anybody have any thoughts, questions about anything you felt or saw during that process? You can put it in the chat box too. Raise your hand Yes, ma'am. Linda? You gotta mute yourself, honey.
Yeah, I felt like when you said go back to being a baby, it was kind of like, oh yeah, what was that like? And immediately I felt this sense of I couldn't see myself from an outsider looking at me. I only knew myself from inside out. And once we start this stepping outside and looking back, we throw judgments on ourselves and we go, oh, well, how do I look here? What's going on there? Da, 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 da. And it gets crazy. And all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I mean, it kind of reminded me of like narcissism, right? Or narcissists, or just that understanding of, oh, I have a reflection. So it's almost like I felt like in that exercise, reject the reflection and just go back to being inside of yourself. Because I had I had acupuncture the other day. I had an amazing, my dog died. Oh my God, I've like a lot happened. But I mean, and then I watched you that same day. It was like, or maybe the next day. And I was sitting on a bed of love. And all of a sudden it just came through to me during this acupuncture that unconditional love is moved through us. I even wrote it on its source, and it moves through us and out of us. And it's always there. It's like never ending. It's abundant. And when you had the visualization of being a baby, it was like instant. I could go back to that space of not having any external. It's all internal. And it just lives there. It lives in you.
Yes, ma'am. We all have the memory of it. We all were born loving ourselves, and we all had it stolen from us by someone. But we can reclaim it. No one else can give it back to us, but we can reclaim it. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Anybody else? Anything to share? Any thoughts, questions? Mila.
So I just wanted to say during that exercise, I couldn't really picture myself as a baby, but I did have an image of myself hugging myself.
Nice.
So
And
that was
how did that feel?
very comforting, safe.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for letting yourself approach the exercise however works for you. That's part of why I don't like people to think about it as guided meditation or a shamanic journey or anything, because people think too much. And if they can't do exactly what you're saying, then they feel like they screwed up or something. You just let yourself experience it at whatever level you could, and that's perfect. So thank you for that. Thank you. And the point that I wanted to draw attention to that Linda made is that when she was experiencing herself as a baby, she realized there wasn't the reflection, there wasn't that look back, and that looking back is where we create the judgment, is where we create that separation. When we stay right here and now, it's very easy to feel love. It's very easy to feel trust. It's very easy to feel confidence when we stay right here and now. Christy.
Hi, I just wanted to say real quick, when I had to go back to that time, I was around maybe 4 or 5 years old. And to think back when I was loved and all that before, because I was once my mom's favorite out of 4 kids. And then around I was 8 or 9 when she gave birth to my little sister. All of a sudden I was the black sheep, and I've always just had it way worse than any of the other siblings. But when I was 4 or 5, younger, when it's just me and my older sister, I was my mom's favorite. And I remember that feeling. It was on top of the world. So.
And how would you describe the feeling? Like, what did you feel in your body?
Just more calmness, more peace, kind of like a light, like Christmas. Just kind of just whole. Sometimes when you like breathe in the light, when you meditate, it was something kind of like that, but just a little, I don't know, like a little spark.
Beautiful. Thank you. I want you guys to pay attention when you're experiencing emotions, how you actually experience them inside. Where do you feel them? How bright or dark or dense or how light? Like, pay attention to those feelings, because you can use those images to recreate states of being. So if you know when you're in a place of love that your insides look like Christmas lights, you can visualize Christmas lights and it'll make you feel love. That makes sense? Thank you for that. Anybody else? Okay, awesome. Let's go in for exercise number 2. This one is just specifically about the imagination. We're going to really learn what the imagination is here. Okay. Find yourself sitting up straight. I felt it in my chest. Awesome. Thank you. Find yourself sitting up straight. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to just look for your imagination. Just see if you can find your imagination. Can you find like the size or the shape? Can you find the edges of your imagination? Notice that it can be difficult to locate. It's like asking, where is air? Or who am I? But if I ask you to remember your favorite place in the physical world, notice you don't have any trouble imagining this. Visualize your favorite place in the world as viscerally as you can. Recreate every detail and notice how this memory makes you feel. How does this place affect you emotionally? However it makes you feel, notice this feeling is right now. And notice that the feeling is real. Even though you're just imagining this memory, notice that the feeling it creates is real. Now imagine doing your favorite thing in this favorite place. If you love to knit, knit. If you love to draw, draw. If you love to relax, relax. Visualize doing your favorite thing as viscerally as you can. And notice how it makes you feel. Notice where you feel it in your body. Now imagine receiving an award for doing your favorite thing. Is it a trophy or a little ribbon or a cash prize? Notice how this award makes you feel. And really let it feel good. Give yourself permission to feel good. Now I want you to step back from this exercise and see that your imagination is a portal to every dimension in the universe. Your imagination is the key to your spiritual journey. Your imagination is the key to emotional healing. And your imagination is the key to personal empowerment. And the most important key to why imagination is so important is that your brain literally doesn't know the difference between a thought and a memory or a present experience or your imagination. Your brain cannot tell the difference because the same neurons have to fire to create the experience. This ability of the imagination to affect physiology is the basis of the placebo effect, which is the fact that if you think something will help you, 50 to 70% of the time it will. If you believe you will get better, your body starts getting better. Feel the importance of this. This is mind over matter. So now I want you to take this imaginary experience and I want you to go find a younger version of yourself. I want you to find a younger version of yourself doing whatever it was that you loved to do. I want you to watch your younger self being authentic, being natural. And I want you to approach this younger self and interact with them any way that feels natural. You might want to talk to them. You might want to show them something. You might want to touch them. And you are welcome to hold them. You are welcome to hug this younger version of yourself. I want you to give all of your loving attention to this young version of you. And as you give this young self this attention they were needing, I want you to imagine reaching back in your own life and feeling, receiving that loving attention. Notice that your attention feels just as valuable as anyone else's. But it's even better because you can control it. So you don't have to worry about losing it. You can simply find your younger self and give them your loving attention. And you can allow your younger self to receive it. Now, I want you to allow yourself to experience gratitude for this opportunity. Experience appreciation for this sensation, for this feeling of love that you are giving to yourself. Appreciate this gift. Thank you, self, Thank you for your loving attention. Appreciate this attention, for it is this appreciation that will bring you back into this state over and over again. Beautiful. Now I want you to move forward in time. Come all the way back to now. And then I want you to go forward into the future. I want you to go very, very far into the future. And I want to find your future self. Notice what they look like. Notice how they're dressed. Notice the environment that they're in. Notice what they're doing. And then I want you to engage with them in any way that feels natural. And now I want you to invite this future version of yourself to come back with you to the present. And I want you to see that if this version of you can go backwards and give yourself attention and help and assistance, I want you to realize that your future self can come back to give you attention and help and assistance now. Allow your future self, allow your higher self to give you loving attention right now. Feel this loving attention affecting your timeline. Feel this loving attention pulling you directly towards that future self. Now feel these entire 2 loops of energy, you feeding your younger self and your future self feeding you. Feel these 2 loops like the figure 8 of the infinity symbol. Two loops of golden light and love. Now release any need to control any aspect of your mind, body, or soul, and I just want you to float. Just allow every moment to be exactly what it is. Accepting every sensation, because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. What does it feel like to let everything be exactly what it is? What does it feel like to let everything be exactly what it is? To me, that feels like unconditional love, y'all. Beautiful. Take a deep breath, wiggle your fingers, stretch anything that needs to stretch. Put your hands in the air, say amen. All right. I hope you all had some feels. I know I did. Hope you all had some feels. Who has something to share? Thought, question, anything, anybody? Tell me something. Yes, ma'am. Mila.
So when you were guiding us to find our imagination,
Mhm.
it's weird, but I immediately had a visual that I was in this infinitive open field prairie type area, and there were trees and flowers, but it was like psychedelic. It was all kinds of different colors,
Beautiful.
and it just kept going and going, and it was I felt happy.
And where did you feel the happiness in your body?
In my face,
Mm.
in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It felt great. And then we transitioned into I guess a place that I've been.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite place?
Favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I just loved being in the mountains and looking up to the peaks, and I could feel the sun coming down. And I just loved being in the Rockies during the winter, during the summer. I just loved being in the Rockies and when I lived in Denver. Yeah. So it was good. Thank you.
Beautiful. You're welcome. Thank you. And were you the one that was afraid earlier?
Yes.
Are you glad you stayed?
Yes.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Jason, tell us something.
I feel a lot more relaxed and less angry. Going back to my younger self, I used to play in the front yard a lot when I was younger. Just wanted to let him know that knowing the pain that I was going through with certain mental illness issues, I was pretty tormented, and I was comforting him and hugging him and holding his hand and just trying to show him love. No, it's gonna be okay. It was a nice experience. I remember was walking down a pathway with him, holding his hand. I wanted to show him love because he was suffering a lot. And going to my favorite place is a beach in Santa Cruz, California. Swimming the ocean is very freeing for me. I just feel like a free wild spirit, like a wolf roaming around the woods around the world. Just I feel very free, and there's no attachments or detachments. I just feel pure out in the ocean, and I need to practice that more because I still deal with mental illness issues, and my younger self me went through a lot, and that is the one thing that blocked me from self-love. It wasn't anything, it was something within here.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me a lot of darkness in my side. I just want to comfort him because I had a lot of hatred towards myself for what my brain was telling me. I just want to know it's okay.
Could you feel the attention you were giving to him? Could you feel that in your own inner child?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel it. I feel it in your voice, brother, and I appreciate the depth that you're allowing yourself to feel that at. That's very important. That's going to open up. That's going to open up dams that have been inside of you. And you're going to need to do it over and over again. It's not just going to be one time. You're going to need to do it over and over again. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
Beautiful. And were you able to connect with your future self?
Ish. I just try to imagine myself more wrinkly.
Yeah.
That one was a little harder, but as far as seeing, but I just think of an older spirit hugging me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The more you go back and do it, the easier imagining it happening in the future coming back to you will be.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Linda?
Hey, Jason, I'm in Santa Cruz. I live in Santa Cruz. So, hey, how you doing? That was such an incredible exercise. I realized that I am here for myself. I have always been here for myself. And I found that to be really emotional because, one of my childhood, I had so many recollections come back, happy times, but also like one of my first memories of where would this outside perception of I am not enough come from. And I had this, I remember playing with my girlfriends on the block. I was probably about 4 or 5 or 6 playing Barbies. And I think that was my first experience with somebody trying to make me feel bad. Like somebody trying to, before that, it was all like happy and love. And, your first experience with someone intentionally trying to be mean. I think I left a little bit of myself behind that day. And then, so my present self, going back to my younger self, what I realized, I have never let myself down. Like I'm capable of loving that little girl right now as I am right now, having gone through everything I've gone through. And then with my future self, being able to prop her up and say, see, you've got this. You arrived at this amazing place that you knew you always could. And then it was like this realization that all 3 of us exist in myself all at once right now. It's all now.
Booyah.
And then then you were like, so now you're all together. And like we were flying, like the 3 of us were hand in hand and we were just flying around happy. Like we did it. We've made it. Here we are. And that was just, I am so excited to take myself there again and talk to myself back then and talk to myself, in the future, all now, whenever I want to. So thank you for that. That was really, really, really cool.
You're welcome. And please write a fucking testimonial. That's a great fucking story. I need that in writing. Thank you so much. Christy.
There's a lot to go with that, but I'm just gonna stick with the end one here is I've really been struggling this year since I said I've been pointing to put the time into actually self-loving. I really actually want to love myself this year because I've always faked it. But anyways, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make candles, do soap, make herbs and tinctures, or make these wands. And I feel like that I was able to sit and be quiet, see myself as, the 17-year-old and as a 60-year-old. And I just said, just stick with the herbs and be an herbalist, and you can make your little wands on the side. And so I feel like I've kind of led myself in a direction of where I want to take my future, and not so lost about it.
Beautiful. Thank you. There's another benefit to loving yourself is clarity. Clarity. Totally. Thank you very much. Kristen. You gotta unmute yourself.
We can't hear you.
There we go. Oh. No, hold on.
I can ask her to unmute.
Can you get her? Hold on, Kristen.
Do you see that, Kristen? I asked you to unmute.
Still not working now. Check.
I'll ask you again.
Kristen, you have to hit the button that comes up on your screen.
It looks like she's trying. And it won't let me it won't let me unmute her. Oh.
I can ask her to unmute like virtually. Do you see that when I do that for you, Kristen?
She might have a problem with her speaker or something.
No, it's all right. Do you see the microphone button in the left-hand corner?
Bottom left.
Like press your screen, or are you on a laptop or phone? Or you can't talk with. Or I'm gonna try it again.
Are you on your phone, Kristen? You're on a laptop? Okay, well, you can type something in the chat if you can't get your mic to work. But I really wish I could hear your voice. Did you get it? Hello? No. I've been watching your face all night. Like every reaction, I saw exactly where you were at. So I appreciate how you've been in there with us. Can you say something in the chat? Keep your eye on if she can put something in the chat for me, Jason. In the meantime, does anybody else have anything you wanted to share? Any questions? Thank you for the attempt. Okay, awesome. So let me just do a quick, overview of what we did. We learned that love isn't what we thought it was. It's not what we've been taught it is. And we learned that we create it for ourselves. And then we demonstrated how we can do that for ourselves in several different ways. And a lot of people had experiences of it, right? A lot of people actually tasted self-love tonight. And if you did taste self-love tonight, please write me a testimonial, write us some feedback, good, bad, and ugly. And if you didn't, tell me about that too, because I need to know all of it. I'm trying to refine this process and get it as succinct and powerful as I can, because it's going to be a book. The book is called The Self-Love Manifesto. I'm writing it right now. You guys are helping. We're recording this this session. I recorded the last one, and I transcribed the last one, and I'm going to transcribe this one. And so I'm literally building the book out of these experiences. And from Kristen, LOL, another benefit to self-love is freedom to be ourselves. Thank you, totally. Oh, she's on an iPad. There you go. That's I've never tried to Zoom on my iPad, so I'm sure I would have a problem too. So So I'm writing a book. It's called The Self-Love Manifesto. And I'm terrible at selling shit. I'm terrible at making offers, but I'm like, I got to figure out how to do it. So we're going to do it. I have 2 offers. Last time I had 1 offer. I had 6 spots. This time I have 2 offers. You have options. The first offer is what I call the Self-Love Manifesto, which is not a course. It does not exist as a course yet. It is a one-on-one coaching program. It's 6 sessions with me one-on-one. Typically, I charge $90 an hour for one-on-one sessions. Right now, this offer is the best one I've ever given. You get 6 sessions for $300. That's $50 a session. That is a 40% discount. Okay. And what is the Self-Love Manifesto, you ask? All right. Get your pencils out. You can write it down, and you're welcome to use these for free. If you want me to teach you how they work and really go through them, then you need to sign up for coaching. The Self-Love Manifesto is 6 mantras. 6 mantras. The first one is I am innocent. The second one is I am natural. The third one is I am worthy. The fourth one is I forgive myself. The fifth one is I accept myself. And the sixth and final one is I love myself unconditionally. Okay. This is the Self-Love Manifesto. And what I do in these one-on-one sessions is I take you into each one at a time, and we go back into your history, we go back into your past, and we work with them, and we go into your future and we work with them. And by the time you get all 6, then you can combine them and love yourself for the rest of eternity, baby. $300, 6 sessions, it's one-on-one. It's not a group coaching program. Booyah. That's the first offer. The second offer is the retreat, baby. And I'm calling this the Self-Love Activation Ceremony. Self-Love Activation Ceremony. Booyah. It's going to be here in Charlotte, North Carolina, February 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's going to be a 3-day journey. We'll work with 2 of these mantras each day of the journey. And I want to read you guys the copy. I just wrote the copy today. Are you ready to silence your inner critic, heal your wounded child, and release your anxiety forever? Who isn't? Join us in this 3-day long self-love ceremony where you will discover how to feel deep unconditional love for yourself no matter what you have done or what has been done to you. Learn how to forgive yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself through a series of guided visualizations and sensory experiences. Relax your wounds, change limiting beliefs, and reclaim your innocence in order to give yourself the love you have always sought from others. Investment, it's going to be $900, all inclusive. A buddy of mine has a gorgeous cabin in the center of Charlotte, North Carolina, but it's on like 20 acres, so it feels like you're in the forest. It's incredible. And he's got a nice fire pit outside. I'm trying to convince him to install a hot tub. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And the overall explanation that I give for it is that every day we will eat healthy, delicious food. We will learn some empowering shamanic tools. And at the end of the day, we will have an ecstatic self-love ceremony every night for 3 days. Okay. So if you're interested in either of those offers, and I feel like I'm getting better at offers because like I want to do them. that's the start, is you got to be able to like make yourself want something. So I'm getting better at it. If you're interested in either of those, send me an email, satekananda@gmail.com. My name is up here on my little thing. satekananda@gmail.com, and just say sign me up. Let me know which one. I've got 6 spots for both, 6 spots for one-on-one sessions and 6 spots for the activation retreat ceremony. We have a question, Adrina.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. First one is on the first offer. How frequently are the 6 sessions done?
Very good question. Normally when I work with clients one-on-one, it's typically once a week. But for this, I didn't see the need to create that separation. And so I give you the option of how fast you want to do them. What we do is you learn different tools in each session, and I want you to practice those tools for at least a day or two before doing the next session. So some people are doing 2 sessions in a week and some people doing 3 sessions in a week, and you get 6 total. If you want to do 1 a week, you can drag it out over 6 weeks if you want to.
Thank you. And the second question was for the second service that you mentioned. How much is that one?
$900 for 3 days, all inclusive. And it will never be any cheaper than that. Like, it's just, that's the cheapest it's ever going to be.
But that includes the sessions and just staying in the space that's there.
Yes, I don't have answers on beds yet because he's still working out the stuff. I know there's 2 queen beds, but he's looking to put bunk beds in the back room. So I can't promise anybody beds yet. It's going to be a first come, first serve thing in terms of beds. But we've never had any problems. You know, I've been doing workshops and retreats for 15 years now. But it includes everything. We're going to feed you. We're going to have programming all day long. We're going to have, you know, marshmallows by the fire. We're going to do ecstatic dance jams. We're just going to love ourselves for 3 days nonstop.
And is that only hosted by you or other spiritual healers, the house situation?
Meaning is the house open to other people using it for other events? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was just asking, are you going to be the main person doing the teachings? And
yes, I am the main person doing the teaching. Totally.
Cool.
Sometimes I have students like assist me or whatever, but I just decided to do this a couple of days ago, so I haven't thought too deep into it. I just had a meeting with my buddy and saw his cabin this weekend, and it just literally blew me away. And his character is a friend of a friend. It blew me away. And so we're meeting again this weekend to talk about this workshop, and he wants me to kind of treat his Airbnb like my, you know, my spiritual, you know, center. You know, this might be the beginning of the healing center. We'll see, but this is going to test it out. This is how we're going to break it in.
Great.
Is that, did you have any others? Any other questions?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. You can email me if you think of any. Totally. Christy, unmute yourself.
Well, I'm gonna say it definitely does sound like a life-changing event,
Mhm.
but I couldn't even how much I want to love myself. I don't have 900 to spend on myself. You know, times are rough. I do live in California, and most of my money does go towards rent. So, you know, I was like, it'd be nice maybe if do you have scholarships, you know, or something that is a little bit more affordable for the poor folks?
Well, $300 is more affordable than 900, so you can work with me one-on-one. You know, and you're welcome to ask anybody in here if they'll help you. You know, can we get any scholarships or you have anybody?
Thanks, love.
Thank you.
Put that out there.
Thank you. Yeah, we do sometimes offer scholarships where we'll let one person that has made it clear I really want to be there, but I can't afford it, and we'll let them write you know, like a little essay about why, and then we'll send it to all of our existing clients. And we've had people pay for other people's ceremonies and experiences before. I haven't even thought about offering that on this one because I just conceived of it this, you know, past couple of days. But if you feel called to try that and you're willing to tell your story, email me and we can see. Like I'm always happy to hit the community up with, you know, anybody that needs help. So thank you very much for your thought. Did you have another one, Adrina, or is your hand just still up from before?
No, I did. I wanted to say I'd be willing to help you, Christy, for like $100 if
Wow.
the rest of the money. And a lot of them
Oh,
working right now. So
My
good.
God, like you guys, like it always, like every single time we have people offer for someone else, it just makes me want to cry. Like it really is beautiful. Get each other's emails so you can stay in touch. Cause I mean, that's you're one, whatever, 1/9 of the way there, like, you know, and don't feel like you can't do it if you can't come to the retreat. Like $300 is not much money, and you won't have the same social experience, obviously, just doing one-on-ones, but what happens inside of you is going to be just as real and just as meaningful. I mean, I'm already working with people one-on-one and seeing what it's doing to their lives. And it is ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous the effect these simple exercises are having. And I think part of the reason is that I'm not teaching it like serious meditation. Like you have to sign up for something and you have to practice a bunch of stuff. It's just thought experiments. It's just mind games. It's like just imagine something and see what happens, and it makes it infinitely more approachable to people. So that's one of the things I'm learning from this process. Thank you very much. Did anybody else have any questions? Anything you need to share? Anything you need to ask? I really appreciate, we had 19 people show up. That's awesome. I really appreciate everybody being vulnerable and sharing. I really appreciate you guys hanging out on the lives with me. That has been transformative for my life. I have been performing my entire life. I grew up in the Ringling Brothers Circus, but I turned off my social media presence many years ago because I got sick of Facebook and I got sick of trolls and I got sick of, you know, all the stuff that comes with it. And TikTok is the first thing that has gotten me out of my shamanic cave and back into the public zeitgeist in probably almost 10 years now. And it's been a lot of fun. And I understand who I am and what I'm offering to people far more now than I did 2 months ago when I started posting. I started posting at the beginning of December, and I don't know how many videos I have, but it's a lot of them as far as I'm concerned. And I don't have that many followers, like in the grand scheme of things. But what I have discovered is that it doesn't matter how many followers you have. What matters is how deeply you're able to connect with the people that do listen. That's what matters. Like it literally doesn't matter, you guys. And and I've seen creators actually talk about this recently, that the numbers on TikTok are all for, you know, like clout now. None of them mean anything, because people with 5 million followers have 1,000, 2,000 views on videos now. They're not giving millions of views away to anybody anymore. You have to pay for that kind of exposure now. And realizing that was one of the most helpful things that's ever happened to me, because I stopped trying to figure out how to get hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. And I just started trying to connect with 1 or 2 people at a time. And that's been the secret to what's made it work. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys are creating content or if you guys just use it, you know, it's a really profound way to connect to your tribe and to figure out who you are. Like, it's been awesome. Okay, so let me know. Send me an email, satekananda@gmail.com. Please send me some feedback, anything. How did you feel? What did you see? You know, what did you experience? What do you feel like changed in you since? And then if you're interested in either of the offers working with me, please let me know. I'm happy to do a discovery call if you have questions or whatever. And I will send you guys a recording to this. I will send you a link to the recording, but it's going to be on my Dropbox, which is practically full. So when you get the link, click it and download it to your computer, please, because it won't be up for long. I'll probably leave it up for a few days. I am going to watch this with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm probably going to transcribe a lot of it. I covered some of the same stuff that we covered in the first one, but we did a lot of new stuff too. And you guys shared way more than the group last time. So that's super awesome. I really appreciate all of your feedback. And, you know, I'll see you guys on the live tomorrow, 11 a.m. This is Satek Ananda. Like and follow for more. I appreciate it, you guys. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, love.
Thank you so much.
On
And
the
thank you,
dot.
Jason, for hosting.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it.